humor me. Would one of you care to take a look into the font and see if you see something different to me?
I'm not hesitant in myself. I'm just... No, let's do it. Let's do it.
You are more experienced than me. I'm sure you will be fine.
And then suddenly sort of an image starts to rise up from the water, and it looks like blood all spreading out and out across the whole room. And then you see a man lying in the middle of this pool of blood with some horrible wound in the back of his head. And then suddenly you snap out of it.
I'm dashing down the stairs.
I see a glint in her eye that sort of...
Maybe it wasn't an accident.
Your girlfriend, she spilled wine all over the shop.
I wanted something on one of them. God damn it. I wanted to get some dirt on one of the members of the Mystic Order.
Look at the female model, if you will. Do you recognize her? Edwina, you must. Surely, from earlier this evening.
Good God. It looks exactly like...
Bathsheba.
Will you not step through and create something in your own style?
You see very clearly that what he does is take the book out of his pocket that you saw him put in there and put it in her back.
I want to know what he's up to. He's up to something.
Pinot, you notice something on his face. He appears to have some blood coming out of his nose.
Monsieur, you do have life insurance, don't you?
This man is mad. He's stolen a book. I'm going to stuff you back in that grandfather clock if it's the last thing I do. Please, monsieurs, calm down. The gendarmerie will be here any minute.
Oh, you don't need to call the gendarmerie. It is pointless. It's over. We're done.
What you see when he opens the door is Pinot sort of slumped over the toilet bowl, and the back of his head appears to have sort of exploded. The Apocalypse Players present A Message of Art by Matt Sanderson, a Call of Cthulhu 7th edition scenario from the Nameless Horrors collection, with Joseph Chance as Jane Harnsworth-Wright, art dealer, Danann McAleer as Clovis Hérbert, classical painter, Dominic Allen as Donatien Benoit, art critic, and returning special guest Jessica Temple as Edwina Alexander, dilettante. The title music is by Julie Abbey, and your keeper of arcane lore is Dan Wheeler. Part 6, Scene 1, Cup of Delight, Jeanne Jacquemin. Your host for this evening, Monsieur Josephin Paladin, and announces it, and you can, a few people sort of come hurriedly out to greet him, and there's some applause. And would you both like to give me a listen roll while this is all going on?
Yeah.
I'll say, as we pass, is it Clothier? I think about him sort of talking about my work having been snubbed that I overheard as we first entered in the first session. And as he sort of now because of the company I'm with, I've got Edwina's hand in my arm and I'm following Paladin. I fish around in my jacket and I know it's there, and I just toss a franc onto his little thing and give him a withering look and then carry on in, and then I do my listen roll.
Good. So I got a 32 and a 40.
Right.
18 on a 40.
So 2 passes, 2 successes.
Yes.
Hard, just a hard.
Oh yeah, hard. Great. Okay, so you hear just as he's being announced and the doors are opening and there's a bit of a hubbub.
Yeah.
You hear Benoit's voice saying something quite heated to someone else, and it catches your eye, and you look across and you can see that he's in heated, angry conversation with Lavagne. It's almost like, you know that he hasn't been here all night, but this is what happened when you first entered the lobby. He was there having an angry conversation with Lavagne.
How is he still
there?
Yeah.
But they seem to be deep in conversation, looking very seriously at each other, sort of, and I think actually the hard listen is still probably not going to get any more than that because there's so much going on.
Yeah, that's fair.
But that happened. You're aware of that. And then in the crowd of people that come rushing in are LaRouche and Bathsheba, who sort of bowl up to Paladin. They make a beeline for him.
Yeah.
And perhaps with your listen roll...
We're just behind Paladin, aren't we?
Yeah. I think you get something else at this moment, especially since one of them was a hard listen roll. But I'll give this to both of you. Yeah. You can hear LaRouche introducing his wife and apologizing for his sort of failure to provide the Minotaur. And give me a psychology roll to see what you interpret from Paladin at this moment.
Yes. Fucking hell, that might be a fumble, mate. 98 on, what's my psychology? 50. So that's not a fumble, right?
Oh, you're just okay. You're just okay.
Fucking hell. So I know nothing.
And I'm a 10 on a 30.
Wow, great.
I did really well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think Clovis, there's something about the angle. Maybe you're just, I think probably what it is you're so beguiled again by Bathsheba's beauty, and you're reminded that it is the woman from the painting.
Yeah.
It's just...
My arm drops down and Edwina's hand is left.
Yeah.
Absolutely brutal.
Yeah.
But it's not because you're attracted to her, although of course you are. It's so bizarre.
It's like suddenly being in the presence of a deity or some sort of... Yeah. I'm just like slack-jawed.
Yeah. Edwina, you rolled a 10 on a 30. So how much would you have to spend to make that an extreme? 4 points of luck? You interested in spending 4 points of luck to make that an extreme extreme psychology?
Yeah, sure, why not? Fuck it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do it.
So what do I do now? Do I do the same thing again?
No, just take 4 points of luck off.
Oh, right. Fine.
And I'll call it an extreme. So you can hear their conversation. He's talking about, not returning the sculpture. It's clear to see that Paladin is really quite furious at LaRouche for not having supplied the Minotaur that he promised. But when he sees Bathsheba, his face changes completely. And he has this, you see a range of different emotions go across his face. Real surprise that she is, as you described, the woman from the painting.
I'm glad I pointed her out.
And then it sort of softens, and it's almost like he's won over, and all the anger disappears and the surprise disappears, and like a smile breaks out on his face, and he's just clearly being charmed by her. And then you see LaRouche come a bit close and sort of whisper something more in Paladin's ear and smile. And then you see Paladin look incredibly excited by what LaRouche has just told him. And you see him slip a little card into Paladin's hand.
Okay. So I'm stood next to Clovis, right? Oh.
Headbutt him, nick the card, run out the door.
Yeah, I know, right? Something doesn't feel quite right to me. That's probably stating the obvious.
Yeah.
And then maybe I sort of nudge Clovis and sort of snap him out of his stupid little thing for this woman. I don't know what it is.
Oh, wait.
And I sort of nudge him and I say, and I whisper to him, "Did you see that?"
No. What happened?
I don't know, but do you think that you could cause a distraction? I need to get inside Paladin's coat pocket.
Wait.
Don't ask too many questions.
No.
Get Paladin's attention. Talk to him about art or something.
Wait.
Just don't stop talking until I give you a signal, and I sort of give you a little that's what the signal's going to be.
I have you.
Can I do this? Am I allowed to do this?
Of course, yeah.
Okay, great.
You're allowed to do whatever you want.
Okay, fine. So I sort of become the boisterous, sort of confident. I sort of snap back into my usual sort of slightly flamboyant self, and I say, "Oh, Peladon, Clovis has something he wants to talk to you about."
And I think we do a double. We do a pincer movement. So like,
yes, I love a pincer movement. Thank you.
As you're saying that, I'm like, I'm on it.
Yeah.
Just because I'm not sure what you're doing, but as far as I'm concerned, you're a part of his inner circle. So whatever you're doing must be something to do with that. Like, I don't feel I'm transgressing.
Yeah.
And I'm also I am in awe of you, and it gives me an excuse to get closer to Bathsheba and all of this stuff. So it's just an excuse to get engaged. So as you go in and sort of say, Peladon, I sort of come round the other side and say, "Oh, wait. So glad you have meeting. How are you, Bathsheba?"
Yeah, and I let you sort of waffle on for a bit, which you can do, and I
Well, French waffles are the best, you know. None of this maple syrup.
They're called crepes. No. Do I need to roll something to? I want to try and reach inside his.
Yeah, I can tell you do. Well, let's find out how successful this distraction is first. So this sounds like this is probably a fast talk, because you're bullshitting, right?
Well, Clovis definitely is, yeah.
From Clovis.
From me, yeah. Yeah.
So I can have a fast talk roll from Clovis to see whether this is a successful distraction.
Absolutement. That's 8 and a 40.
48. And what's your fast talk?
And my fast talk is 40. So I would have to spend 8 luck.
Spend 8 points of luck or push it?
I don't want to push it because I'll be risking all of the sort of standing I've built up with Peladon. I just need to succeed at this.
Yeah.
Because I feel I've been sort of coerced into this situation through a mixture of sort of infatuation, hypnotism, confusion, sanity loss. But I think I will spend 8 points of luck.
Great.
Yeah. And so I do, like, I have one eye on Edwina, but I am also just, I guess it's that whirlpool that seems to happen around Bathsheba and also Peladon's there, and I'm still sort of trying to get on his side. And I just intersperse myself into their interaction.
So I feel like this is happening like super quickly, like we haven't had time to really talk about it, so it's just one of those like...
Yes, yeah. And like, oh, you are so right. Madame Bathsheba was talking to me earlier about, as you agree, the moment of when life begins to capture that. And I feel... like Jesus handing the bread to the woman.
Yes, I know exactly what you mean. It's when you said about her, I did not believe it would be quite so profound, as you said.
I know, right?
And Edwina, I think I'm going to need it's probably a sleight of hand roll, but I don't know whether you have any points in that.
Oh no!
Unless you're an ex-thief, it might not be a specified skill. There'll be a base level in it, won't there?
There will be. It's not great.
No, it's not. It's quite a specific skill.
Yeah, the base sleight of hand is 10. I will give you a bonus die for this excellent distraction.
Right.
Or what other skills have you got in your the bit where it lists a few individual skills?
Right. I have stealth.
Oh, what's your stealth?
60.
Yeah.
I'm going to ask for a hard success on stealth because it is definitely a sleight of hand job. But if you...
Oh, yeah. Okay, so what do I need... If it's a hard success, what do I need to get to make it?
So you have to roll half, but I will give you a bonus die because... So basically roll your 2 dice, roll them twice, and if either of them are... roll twice, and if either of your scores are under 30, then it's a success.
Oh, God. I don't like it. 6!
Yes!
I got 6.
Oh, brilliant. Well, that would have been a success on your sleight of hand as well. That's brilliant. Okay.
Oh, she's good. Okay.
So describe how you get this little slip of paper out of Peladon's pocket while he's engaged in conversation.
Well, being extremely skilled in these matters, it seems, it's all about the element of distraction. So as sort of Clovis and him are chattering away and they're being all flamboyant and big about it, I imagine he's put this card just into the one of his coat pockets on the side. So I'm stood on his right, and I've linked arms with him, and I'm sort of playfully I don't know, hanging onto his arm, even though sort of gesticulating and stuff. And somehow, because I'm very skilled, I reach around the back of him as I'm sort of doing this, and he's distracted by you, Clovis, so thanks very much. And I slip my hand into his pocket, and as I pull the card out, I sort of tug him this way to sort of distract from the fact that I'm pulling something out of the left side.
Yeah.
So it's like that kind of movement.
Classic Darren Brown manoeuvre.
Thank you, Darren Brown.
Very lovely.
Thank you. And then I'm immediately effervescent and trying to join in. And
Great. Do you want to look at this card now, or do you just want to secrete it about your person and save it for later?
I feel like I should save it for later. I feel like I need to get away from this situation before I reveal that I don't want to risk anyone seeing that I...
Don't push your luck.
No, I don't want...
Strong move.
Thank you. Yes.
Great. So while this has all been going on, I think you've been very, very fixated with this little mission, but you are aware of several people running about in the lobby, and you catch Jane out of the corner of your eye running in.
Jane!
Saying something to Coiffier, and the two of them running out. But you don't really have time to take it in or think too much about it because of how engaged you are in this. But mere moments after that has happened, you hear a scream and a crash from sort of down the hall within the building. And Peladan says, "Oh, my word, what is that?" And turns, and several people start sort of running towards the noise. And do you join them?
Is it a crash of, dare I say, glasses falling on the ground?
It sounds exactly like a scream, a woman's scream, and then a tray of glasses that have been dropped.
Oh no. Oh, well, immediately I start sweating, like when your hides go up, and immediately sort of got goosebumps because my mind is cast back to the vision that I had over the font of the tray of glasses falling, a scream, lots of blood, and a dead person. So I sort of, I'm jolted, and I reach out my hand, hoping that Clovis will hold it.
It sounds like you're almost volunteering a sanity roll there, Jess.
Yeah, I've.
If you think even the crash itself is enough to make you feel like your vision's being fulfilled.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like it's too much of a coincidence at this point.
Okay, sanity roll then, please.
Oh, God. Does she lose her mind?
That's that honest playing. I love it.
Oh, man. Okay, I rolled a 69 and my sanity is 60, so...
Is 60 even after your loss, is it? What did it start on?
Oh, shit. No, yeah, I lost... It was 3 and I spent 4 on luck, so 57.
Let me make a note of these, just since you're not.
Yes, all right.
Danann, did you also lose 3?
13 luck and 4 sanity in total.
4 sanity and 2 bits, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, great. Thanks, team. It's good for me to keep track of that as well. So I'm rolling for you just to find out how much sanity you lose here. Another 2 points of sanity.
God damn. Okay, I'm on 55 then.
You're okay. Basically, if you lose 5 in one go, it's about. Or if you lose a fifth in one day, which for you would be 12 points of sanity, you go indefinitely insane.
Oh, good.
But anyway, you're okay. You're okay at the moment.
Okay, so I my reaction is to sort of, my heart's thumping in my chest, and my reaction is to just hold my hand out because I let go of Peladan, but Clovis is next to me, and I don't know whether you sense my hand being sort of close to yours, but I don't grab it. It's just sort of there, sort of open and ready.
Yeah. My instinct is that I would, because I kind of feel like the smashing would have... I've seen you remove yourself, and I know that I was a distraction. I'm not sure why, because I didn't see the card. But I think it's some game that you're playing, and I'm part of it, and I'm just part of the inner circle, and Bathsheba's there, and you're there. But I think this smashing of the glass sort of snaps me out of that, and then I sense your hand, and I, of course, immediately go to take it. Yeah.
Great. Thanks so much. Yeah, and I think it's okay that we do our sort of are there holding hands for a brief moment, and then I think maybe there's a sort of smelling of the salts, and once I've had that initial reaction, I look at you as if to say thank you, but I'm fine now.
Yes, I let go and I sort of whisper, yes, people will talk.
Not here, not now.
Not now.
And
not like this.
maybe not like this. But there is something in me that wants to go and, like, I have to see, definitely.
That's where everyone is running.
It's happening.
So you do head down the corridor?
Yeah.
Yeah, I will follow.
So the screams seem to come from outside the washroom, the lavatory, which is sort of just down, almost kind of opposite and just slightly around the corner from where you are. And there seem to be several people running in that direction, maids and guests. You follow and you arrive there, sort of push through the crowd to see Coffier with the door open and Jane stood right next to him. And beyond them, you see a man who at this distance you can't quite recognize, with blood and brain matter smothering the walls behind him, the door, the floor.
Oh, shit.
And he's lying there in this pool of blood with what appears to be the back of his skull missing.
Oh, fuck-a-doodle-doo.
Are we talking like, gun in mouth, shot your back of your head off? Oh, no.
And are we talking the exact image you had in your vision?
Yeah, looks like it might be the same thing.
Well, I'm fucked then, because I'm about to start hemorrhaging from my face.
Yeah, you've already rolled for that vision, so that's okay. Let me just see what you get for this.
I don't like it.
Come to Paris, they said. It'll be romantic, they said.
Je suis très romantique.
Yeah. Have either of you seen a dead body before?
Only when I was hanging out with Caravaggio. No, I haven't.
I thought you were asking me, Dan, then. I literally thought...
Well, unfortunately, this is another sanity roll for seeing this site.
Oh, God.
Yeah, they're coming thick and fast at the moment, aren't they?
I'm going to go insane, aren't I? And I genuinely, Dan, thought you were asking me, Jess, if I'd ever seen a dead body. I was like, oh, that's, no, but sure.
I fucking smashed that one. I've rolled a 3.
Great. You do lose 1 point of sanity, I'm afraid. It's quite a sight.
Fuck. On a 3? Yeah, fair.
I'm, 55 now, and I rolled a 39. So I am under, but...
Fine. 1 point of sanity for you as well.
Another one. Right, I've lost 6. Bloody hell.
Wait, Danann, was that an extreme? I feel very mean to take any sanity at all. I'm going to say you don't lose any sanity for that.
You sure?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that feels very mean of me.
Maybe in that case, like, to explain it, perhaps I have, like I didn't see the death, I just saw the body, and maybe I have seen, like, autopsies when I was... Because I'm a classical artist, I need to know how the muscle moves under the skin. So.
Yeah. Still lifes and things. Yeah.
It's shocking.
You've never seen anything quite like this. The fact that the back of his skull is seemingly missing.
So it's like in a modern day thing, we might sort of assume, a shotgun blast. It's like spread that far. It's like a huge...
Looks like some sort of explosion, yeah.
Cordyceps explosion.
Oh my God.
Maybe you, Danann, can give me an intelligence roll at this point.
I'll try my best.
Since you haven't lost any sanity, you're slightly more compos mentis.
That's an 8.
Oh my God.
So you find yourself, you can see everyone kind of losing their minds around you.
Yeah, understandably.
You manage to keep your head and you look around.
Yeah.
Almost doing like a sort of quick head count. Who's here, who's not. And you look back at the body and suddenly you know exactly who it is because he's not here and you recognize the clothes. And it's your old friend Pinot.
No. Sacre bleu. Oh. Fuck. Oh, fuck you, man. Oh, man.
Dom, I think you're the only person who maybe didn't dash straight there. So I'm just going to sort of give you an opportunity to, I don't know whether there's any last final whispered words to Lavagne, because when this was all kicking off, you were speaking to Lavagne in the lobby. But everyone has rushed to the scene around the bathroom where Pinot has been found. So if you want to have any sort of last moments before I place you there, now is your opportunity.
Oh, great. Yeah, because I thought I'd got to the doorway, but maybe I hadn't, which is great. What were we just talking about, me and him?
Okay, good question. So he had been explaining his plan to frame Prideaux.
Oh, yeah.
And you'd been accusing him of not having any idea how to frame someone. He suggested he was a complete amateur. It was unclear at that point whether you were planning on helping him or, dobbing him in or whatever. But I think the two of you had been talking about, your idea was that you might have an opportunity to make some money. His idea was that he might have an opportunity to somehow expose the members of the Mystic Order, or expose, kind of somehow like create some sort of controversy that would help to sort of, I don't know, debunk the Mystic Order or ruin their monopoly on the salon, basically, I think really is the key. He was very jealous, it seemed, of the fact that members of the Mystic Order had all the attention from Paladin. I mean, you don't have to. It's entirely reasonable that you two might drop this conversation and run with the crowd to where the commotion is, but sort of is an option.
I'd probably do that. I'd probably say, I'd probably just say something like, we will talk again when the time is right. What is happening? And quickly, vite.
Great. So Paladin has arrived back. Everyone has rushed through to the scene outside the bathroom. What a few of you did see was that there were two gendarmes arriving just behind Paladin. They'd been summoned because of the commotion that you'd caused, actually, Benoit.
Oh, yes.
Accusing Lavagne and vice versa. The butler had summoned the gendarme, and they've turned up fortuitously, perhaps, at exactly the moment that they're needed. So I think the only person who hasn't seen the body is you, Benoit, and in where we were playing before. So you now do see Pinot sort of lying in a pool of blood, the back of his head sort of missing, basically, and blood splattered around the room. Have you seen dead bodies before?
Oh, I doubt it. I really doubt it.
I think in that case, it's a sanity roll, please.
Lovely.
Hang on a second. When you here during the commune? Are you in your 40s?
Oh, that's a good question, isn't it? Yeah, I'm 43.
79? That would have been well within reach 13 years ago, right? 78, 79. I mean, there's no way you can have survived Paris unless you left Paris, of course.
Yeah, I think I probably did leave Paris. I don't think.
Benoit, you went to Arles or something like that, didn't you? Arles. Perfect. Avoided it.
Yeah, no, I don't think it would be my scene. I remember thinking this has to blow over, and I love the idea behind it, but I don't like to see how the sausage gets made. Or the saucisson in this case.
Aha.
Wow.
Episode title, How the Sausage Gets Made.
So I left Paris, and then of course it all collapsed, and then I came back, breezed back in.
Well, one way or another, it's a sanity roll.
Yeah. Also, as an art critic, not an artist.
Well, quite.
Good point.
Ooh, right. Well, apparently, according to this, I haven't lost any sanity yet. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense. I think only two of you have lost sanity, and I know who those two are.
In that case, I've succeeded. I've succeeded with a 66 on an 80. This is the most sane character I've ever played.
That's still 1 point of sanity, I'm afraid, because it's pretty gruesome.
Sacre bleu!
Anyway, at this moment, the two gendarmes sort of make their way through the crowd. Move, please, excusez-moi. And they sort of push through and then are quite taken aback themselves by the sight. And sort of quickly arrange a sort of rudimentary sort of cordon around the little bathroom. In amidst all the chaos, a detective is summoned to the house, and the two gendarmes sort of place all the guests in the library and ask you to wait. And one by one, the guests are summoned through into the lounge to be questioned and asked what they remember about the events leading up to this sort of a bloody mess.
I hope they haven't got that little Belgian on the case.
If at any point any of you is like, I really don't remember this or that or whatever, just jump in and ask me. But it's quite nice you filling in these details yourself in this kind of moment. Peladan is the first to be brought through as the host of the party. So the rest of you are all in the library. I think the detectives are doing their best to make sure there's not too much mingling and talking between you, but there's only a couple of them, and there's a lot of party guests. So I think sotto voce, there could be conversations between you at this point.
To be honest, I think I know Antonin so well that this would have been a sort of moment. I feel like I might have to get close to his body. Like I feel like it might be a sort of a push through the crowd and a sort of Antonin, no. Maybe. And sort of grasping at his leg or something. You know, just I feel like I need to be close to whatever there is that's left of him. I can't quite believe that I'm seeing this image. You know, I think back to the months I spent living with him in an apartment and everything. And even though I'm desperate to sort of collude with this lot, I feel like I do probably push through, and I just want to see what he's got on him. If there's a gun near him, like it looks to me like he's blown his brains out with a gun. That's all I can assume. Is that right?
Well, you don't get much opportunity to do that before the gendarmes drag you away. But if you want to, you can't see a gun in the room. There's no sign of a weapon. Have you got any medicine or first aid? I mean, it's not going to do you any good, but just whether that can give you any information.
It's a bit late for first aid.
A touch.
Yeah.
Just
last aid. Final aid.
The last, right. No.
Too late for Lucasade.
Yeah.
Much too late. Not even Lucasade Sport.
Well, so you have your brief moment with Pinot's body, but the detectives, the gendarmes quickly drag you away and usher everyone through to the library, where all the guests at the party are gathered, except for Peladan, who's immediately been taken through to the library.
I think I probably was very glad of that momentum away from the scene. And if I turned round and pretty much found Edwina Alexander there, I will almost certainly have lunged for her arm. In a moment of intimacy, perhaps our friendship doesn't really back up, but obviously quite shaken. And I will sort of grip on to you, Edwina, and you know, you can feel that I'm nearly falling over.
Yeah.
I don't know what state you're in for seeing it, but I'm obviously distracted, and I think there's a very good chance that you see me looking at the corners of the rooms in a sort of slightly weird way.
Yeah, I feel like I do support you. Maybe I've had a bit of a wobble earlier in the evening, and I feel like maybe I've kicked into some sort of like another level of, right, okay, well, I need to sort you out because clearly you're a bit distressed. I got you, boo. I'm not going to let you fall.
Yeah, and I think I'm just muttering under my breath, saying, horrible. I mean, his poor head. And I sort of look distractedly around and I say, Benoit, he was here.
And in a moment of trying to get you to sort of come to your senses, I sort of, I take you by the face and I just give you a little, now, just a little sort of, a little, now come on now. No point in going mad. We need to, let's find you a turn, some water. If focus on me, look into my eyes. I don't know, something like that. Trying to just get you to breathe a little bit.
And I think back to my days at boarding school in that moment, and my thoughts of cruelty towards Edwina soften, because I had cruel thoughts about her beauty, and how much I was envious of it. But I think in that moment, it does snap me out.
Okay, great.
I grip hold of you and say, "Oh, we mustn't make a scene. I'm so sorry. But I have one last look. I'm desperate, Dan, to see if there's any sort of trajectory as to where it might have gone. Do I have any inkling, or did it just sort of disappear?"
It?
Yes.
It? Oh, shit.
Yeah.
What are you talking about? Sorry.
Yes. It did sort of just...
I have no trajectory. I have no trajectory.
No.
No. And I think that's what I think basically you see me doing this slightly weird thing where I crane up, looking as if I'm looking for some kind of butterfly or something.
Yeah, that's really bizarre.
And then it's as if I then a few seconds later realize what I've just said, and I do pull myself together, but I'm quite rigid.
Edwina, do you want to give me a psychology roll to see what you can infer from that strange behaviour?
Yes, please. Psychology.
Benoit, he was here. Where's poor Clovis? As a gendarme throws Clovis bodily past us, and neither of us seeing it happening.
Oh, I rolled a 26 on a 30 psychology.
Sweet.
Okay. Joseph, what does Edwina infer from Jane's reactions?
You see me trying to cover up that I'm looking for something that is making me extremely uncomfortable, nervous.
Yeah.
And yet also there's a glow in my eyes that dissipates, that fades.
Yeah.
I mean, for a success, yeah. I was excited, and now I'm a bit disappointed, but I was definitely looking for something.
Yeah, and maybe because I've got your arm, I can sort of feel your pulse, and it's going like the clappers.
Yeah.
And I'm sort of saying, "Oh, goodness me, your heart's going terribly fast. Is everything all right? I know this is a bit of a shock, but..."
I'm sure I just need to sit down. Look, the arm of this chaise longue is perfect. Perhaps a brandy. And I sort of desperately look to see if they're locking the room down.
They basically are, and I think after this sort of slightly heated conversation, a gendarme comes over and says, "No touching, no talking," and separates the two of you forcibly.
Oh, goddamn.
Bollocks.
Right.
But this takes away attention from the other two of you, if there's anything you want to do or say or look at.
Remind me what the book was that I've got now. I haven't had a chance to look at it properly, have I?
It's a thin volume which has no markings on the cover.
It's about interior design, right?
Maybe.
Well, while everyone's just sat around forced to be silent, I don't see how they can object to me reading my book. So I'm going to read my book.
Okay.
Perfectly harmless thing to do. I can't see anything going wrong with this.
Sure.
I've had experiences before reading books in Call of Cthulhu. It's never gone badly at all.
No. What could possibly go wrong? As you take it out of your pocket, Lavagne hisses at you and says, "You fool, put it away."
Gendarme, he's trying to talk to me.
Fucking grass.
Nobody likes a dobber, mate.
And a gendarme takes him and says, "No talking," and drags him away.
Fantastic.
But you can see him eyeballing you as you take this book out of your pocket. Are you trying to do it at all stealthily or subtly?
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to draw attention to myself. I've probably gone into a corner of the library and I'm looking through the books and I've probably got a couple of books off the shelf and I'm flicking as if I'm flicking through them and as if it was on the shelf so that then I can read it without anyone knowing what I'm reading, really.
Okay.
Just because I know it's a stolen item.
Do you have any stealth or sleight of hand or anything? It might not matter if you don't, but this might be an opposed roll, and that might work in your favour.
I could give you a stealth. It's the basic, but it's better than the basic sleight of hand.
Give me a stealth, and I'm going to roll something against that.
Oh, that's no good for me. That's a 50 on a 20.
Oh, you are really lucky. The one person who might be looking to see what you're doing failed a spot hidden.
Oh, hello.
By 2 points. So I think you probably got away with it. So you opened this book, and I can send you a little handout in a minute.
Ooh.
Bloody hell.
Points mean prizes.
But I would just sort of summarize some things. about it. As I say, it's like a slim leather-bound book, completely unmarked on the front cover or the spine. But as you open the front cover, there's a title page which says, taken from the works of Jacques de Livron, Joachim de la Tour de la Casa Martinez de Pasquali by one of the Rocroix. And it has like a Martinist seal printed below the title, which is Évocation du Dieu intérieur, Evocations of the Inner God.
Oh.
You're not going to be able to read this whole book. I say it's slim, but it's probably nearly 200 pages. So you're not going to be able to read the whole thing sat here, but you could probably read it overnight if you wanted to. Is there anything you're particularly looking for on a little skim?
Who is it by? Joe Pasquale?
Yeah, a very long name that I'm going to have to do again in post. But basically a member of the Rocroix, the Rosencross or whatever.
Sorry to make you do that again.
And it basically concerns sort of spiritual realms. And from the sort of introduction, you get the idea that it proposes that the gateway to God is from within oneself, hence the inner God. But it talks about theurgy, so the sort of the practice of rituals, like magical rituals that achieve connection with God. And it's sort of, it's Martinist, like, so an esoteric branch of Christianity. And the aim of finding reintegration or illumination, reunification with the divine, basically. It's this weird marriage of magic and religion.
Sort of esoteric Christianity.
Have I explained that at all well or not really?
Yeah. I saw.
Very good.
It's like esoteric Christianity, right? It's like.
Yeah. So it's got several. You flipping through, you can see that there are several like specific rituals outlined in the book.
Now, I've got 40 in occult.
Wow, okay.
So I guess I'd skim through and look for anything that's like anything really out of the ordinary, anything I wouldn't expect, I suppose. Bit gamey, but that's what I'd do.
I think...
Or is it just a normal sort of occult book? It might be. Leading the witness.
I mean, Benoit does pursue scandal, doesn't he? He does pursue scandal. You've been pursuing scandal for the last 3 hours.
Well, you can give me an occult roll. If you get hard success on your occult, you might get something, but...
Yeah, I'm absolutely looking for scandal. I'm always trying to be the maker, the repairer and destroyer of reputations.
Nice.
Ooh, no, that's a 92. So let's push it. Let's push it. I will push it by trying out some of the gestures that I come across in the book while I'm reading.
Yes.
Sort of just, idly moving my hand up and down in the air, making these symbols in the air.
Yeah.
Trying to land a plane.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm sure nothing can go wrong. I'll just get closer to God, won't I? Oh, 10 on a 40. That's almost an extreme success. But
hello.
Oh, wow.
There we go. Hard success, definitely.
Okay, so your occult knowledge tells you that you actually, you know about Martinez de Pasquale's, I can see why you said Joe Pasquale, thanks. Martinez de Pasquale's treatise on the reintegration of beings. And you remember reading that that book had certain passages cut from its final publication. And you infer that this is effectively derived from those notes that were cut from that book. So it is very rare and very unusual. You now vaguely remember reading that there was a very, very small print run of this work. You've never seen a copy of this before. You notice that one of the rituals has been bookmarked, sort of subtly. It's not like a dog-eared page turned down. It's just like a tiny little pencil flick on the bottom corner, which you wouldn't have noticed if you didn't know exactly what you might be looking for in a book like this. And it is a ritual called channeling God. And basically it describes a ritual by which someone can channel the inner God from within themselves into an external vessel. And it involves preparing a ritual space, adorning it with images and sacred geometry, chanting, willpower, ritualistic gestures of the like that you've been sort of performing. But the one thing you're not entirely sure of is what the expected result is supposed to be. But you think, if you spend a little bit longer on this in private, you might be able to get your head around that spell or understand it a bit better.
Interesting.
Is that fair?
Yeah, absolutely. Very interesting.
Great. So, Clovis, what are you up to while this is all going on?
Well, so my instinct was to hook back up with Edwina and Jane, but I think because I made this dash towards Antonin, obviously, and then thrown off by the gendarme, perhaps I'm sort of in the aftermath of that, sort of brushing myself down. And if they're sort of literally keeping us away from each other, I think I tried to make eye contact with Edwina first and foremost, since she's whom I've just spent the last sort of section of the evening with.
Right.
But I don't really have anything to say. I want to sort of just look at all three of them in turn and try and catch their eye and get a sense of solidarity.
Well, let me just take that for a moment. So if you're trying to catch people's eye, it makes sense. You're maybe the last person thrown into the room. You'd better be dragged away from Pinot, and
yes, yeah.
You're brought into the room. And if you're trying to catch their eyes, you're probably looking across all the faces in the crowd, I guess.
Yeah, for sure.
Would you like to give me either how's your psychology?
Oh, my psychology is pretty good, actually. I think, as an artist, obviously, I have worked a lot with models, and you have to keep them happy and or sad, depending on the picture.
Great. I'm happy to have a psychology or a hard spot hidden, but you can roll once, and if you let me know how you get on with both of them.
Wait. 23 on a 50 psychology.
Oh, fantastic. So you managed to sort of catch everyone's eye, except for Benoit, I think, because he's buried in his book. But as you look across the faces in the crowd, you can see that everyone there has been really shaken by what they've seen and what's happened.
I'm not surprised.
Obviously, this is Paris. Crazy things happen at parties, but nothing quite like this.
Crazier than ever.
Everyone except for one person looks shaken. Bathsheba looks sort of emotionless, detached, serene, really.
It's not appropriate at such a time. No. And is she with LaRouche? Is she with Pierre?
Yes. Yeah, they're sort of, next to each other.
And Péladin, is he elsewhere?
He is being questioned, although at this moment, a gendarme brings him back into the room and looks around the room, and his eyes light on Jane Harnsworth-Wright, and he says, "Come with me. The detective would like to speak to you." And Jane is ushered out of the room and into the lounge with the detective, who offers you a seat.
Thank you.
But remains standing himself.
I shall sit down.
Scene 2. Seated woman in a dark room. Édouard Vuillard. Well, would you like a glass of water?
I think that would be very wise, thank you.
Nods for a maid stood there to pour you a glass of water, which she does, shaking, the jug clinking against the glass. Tick, 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 tick.
God, I wouldn't drink Paris water back then. Wouldn't drink it now.
And hands it over to you.
It's Perrier. It's fine.
Of course.
And the detective says, so, I'm very sorry for holding you from, I'm sure you have home to go to and you would like to get a good night's sleep after the frightening events of tonight, but please indulge me. Tell me about your evening. Tell me everything that you remember from the moment you arrived at this party.
I wouldn't abandon Peladin in such an hour, and I'm very keen to stay as long as necessary, Monsieur Officer. Monsieur, forgive me, my French is not good enough to know how to address you.
Nor is mine, do not worry about it.
That makes us à deux. Terrible. The last thing I remember, well, I feel terribly guilty, of course, crushingly guilty, because I must confess I had been very keen to purchase Monsieur Pinot's magnificent painting, and I knew that he'd been complaining of a headache, and he said, let us talk of it later, but I'm a dealer, you see. My husband and I, we trade in art. And, well, it's such a marvelous piece.
I've heard of this piece, The Man and the Bull. This is it?
Indeed, yes. You know it? Oh, it's quite wonderful, and...
No, I'm not interested in art. I'm sorry.
I understand. And believe me, I wish I'd never been interested in art in this particular moment, but one cannot change one's passions, one's mysteries. And the truth is, I pushed him for a final comment, and he was angry when he left me. He felt that I'd bullied him into a signature, and I suppose I had. And it was the worst deal of my life. I'm appalled, and I just hope that it didn't push him over the edge in some way, some sort of aneurysm, or aneurysm, as I would say. I don't know why I would say aneurysm. Some aneurysm? Perhaps he was listening to Celtic music of a certain...
Ah, yes, the Orinoco flow. I have heard of this thing. But...
Yes, it can destroy the brain from the inside. And then she pauses, and a handkerchief goes to her lips.
Perhaps you speak unnaturally because you are nervous about something, madame.
Oh, there we go.
Well, I've just said that I feel terribly guilty that I pushed him on the point regarding the sale of the painting.
Oh, but you secured the sale.
I believe there was a document, and I look for the document on me. But of course I don't have it.
Do you not? I think you started to slip it under the door, and then you pulled it back out, because you heard this pop.
Yes, that was it, yes. Well, let's go with that.
So yeah, I think you do have this document on you, but I think you are aware that it is badly stained with blood and brain matter, because this pop happened while the paper was halfway under the door.
Yes.
And when you quickly pulled it back out. So perhaps you remember this just as you start to mention this paper.
Well, I think she's still going to carry on then.
Okay.
It has to continue.
I see.
I just feel awful. It must have been his last act. I was the first, I was the first to the scene, yes?
Yes, I heard this. You and the butler, Coffier.
Yes. The poor man. I had no idea he was so ill. He seemed fine. We were drinking together only, 2 hours? Was it about 2 hours ago?
Well, let me tell you, madame, the police doctor has looked at the body, and I should not share too much, but the man has not suffered some sort of brain aneurysm, as you say. These things, no matter how severe, do not make a skull explode, excuse me.
Her handkerchief goes up to her mouth.
So, the man may have been ill, but I think this was not the cause of his death.
I heard no shot.
Curious. And he takes another note. Do you remember anyone acting strangely this evening?
She hesitates. Strangely. I know that there's a great deal of discussion regarding the future of Peladin's circle. I would not say that Monsieur Peladin has acted strangely. I didn't see him. It was a shame that he wasn't here. Everyone was excited, perhaps a little overexcited. The salon has a wonderful energy to it. And wherever there is fine art, there will be money.
Any other reasons why people would be particularly excited tonight?
There was an incident with a dropped tray.
Tell me more.
And there's no maids in the room, right?
There is a maid who just handed you a glass of water.
I study her. It's not...
But it's not the maid. It's not the maid who dropped the tray.
I studied her nonetheless, and then I looked back at Monsieur... Remind me of his name?
What, the detective?
Yeah.
Let's call him Detective Magritte.
Magritte. Monsieur Magritte.
And if he sees you looking at the maid, he says, "Excuse me, mademoiselle, would you step outside?" And she does.
Thank you, that's most kind.
Perhaps you can continue now?
Yes, it's just, I know how the servants talk. And it was another maid dropped the tray, and in all truth, I'm not sure I really believed it. It felt like it was a distraction. It felt like it was a point of cunning.
How interesting. And where was the tray dropped?
It was in the...
I can tell you, it was right here in the lounge.
In the lounge, yeah.
And the drinks were dropped all over Dominic Gerrard's.
Yes.
Are you sharing that information or withholding it?
I think I share all of that.
Ah, interessant. He makes another note. And he says, and how did everyone react in this moment?
Madame de Gerrard was very angry and very disappointed. I think a degree of feeling upstaged by the whole business. Coffier did a very good job of talking to the girl. Coffier was with me when I was attempting to see Monsieur Pinot. I had no feeling that he was involved with anything to do with it.
Very good. You have been most useful, Madame. You may return to the library. I hope we will allow you all to go home before too long.
Thank you, Monsieur.
And while this has been going on, Edwina, what have you been getting up to in the library?
Well, I suddenly remembered that I had that sleight of hand moment, didn't I? I have this card that I sort of tucked away in my heaving bosom. So I feel like this would be a great moment, particularly if I'm sort of being kept away from people, to have a look, see what it says, I think.
Perfect. Fantastic.
Yes.
So you lifted this card out of Peladon's pocket.
I did. He was given it by
LaRouche.
Yes.
Exactly. Just at the moment he arrived back.
Yeah.
So you take this card out and you have a look at it. It's a calling card, or like a business card. A calling card, I think is right. For an address in Thoiry, which is a small town in like woodlands, about 50 kilometers north of Paris, just north of Versailles, or 50 kilometers out of Paris, just north of Versailles. And it's just got a few words scribbled on it. It says, "Thanks for the loan. The channeling, unmitigated triumph!" ! Come Tuesday? ?
Right.
I will send that. I will send all that for you in a little message.
So the calling card has been basically just a vessel for this information. It's not anything, or as in like, is it like a scrap piece of paper type thing, even though it's a business card? Do you know what I mean? Has he just tried to find something to write?
Well, I guess that's just something you could...
Well, no, maybe...
He hasn't scrawled all over the address.
Right, got you. So actually, okay, fine. So it's... The address is important then, I guess.
Yes, so you take that out and have a little look at it.
And so, sorry, so I can get the sequence of events. I lift that. He gives the card as soon as we arrived. I lift the card and then there's the commotion, right?
Yeah.
I did a Darren Brown style disruption. Distracted everyone.
Exactly, yeah.
Okay. Well, I've read that, so good.
Come Tuesday, the French, so wonderfully sexually direct.
Isn't it?
Aren't they just?
They don't fuck about.
Don't do, or do they?
Oh God. Okay. Well, yeah, but I'm on my own. So what do I do with that? I mean, I feel like I shouldn't have read that. That's the I don't know.
No. That's fine. I think maybe you are sort of frozen in this moment. There's more information on it than you were perhaps expecting. But I mean, who can say what drove you to take it in the first place? Such a strange, instinctive reaction, and yet.
Well, I feel like there's unanswered things in what I saw in the well and stuff, and
yeah,
and things then becoming reality, and then me reading this thing. It's like I'm trying to fit all the pieces of the puzzle together, even though I don't have all the pieces. Probably.
We are all toddlers smashing at the puzzle with the hammer.
That's fine. I'm gonna leave you with that. I think perhaps you're sort of dwelling on this a little bit.
I think so. I think I certainly I don't tear up the card or anything. I think I very promptly sort of take it all in and then just shove it back in my breast. I don't know, somewhere.
Shove it in your breast.
Not actually in, just in the that bit.
Yeah.
I sort of, it definitely feels like a secret.
Great. Clovis, what about you? Just in, the few minutes while Jane is out of the room, let's say.
Well, I've not really been able to connect with anyone since we came back.
No.
I'm assuming we're being kept in this room. I know Jeanne has been taken out to be interrogated, and Edwina and Benoit are both there, but the gendarmes are going around and keeping us from each other. So I may start to... is there anywhere in the room which has... I don't know, anything, pencil... I have pencils on me, but charcoal or... artistic supplies?
Yes, let's say there's a little corner of the room which has, exactly as you say, some charcoals and some drawing paper.
Well, I sidle over and I take from my folio my unfinished pieces. Mm-hmm. The ones I showed to Benoit earlier and I described to Paladin. And Bathsheba obviously has given me some, but I'm still suspicious of her. She was so she didn't react. There's something awful about her lack of reaction. But I think I need to do something to calm my nerves. I don't know when I'm going to be called in, so I think I go over there and I take out these pieces which I've been loath to finish or even look at really until I was sort of dared to. I was sort of by Benoit, sort of pressured to at least. And I start to sketch in the faces where there were none. Okay,
great. So you sit yourself down and start sketching in the faces, and none of them are quite right. Oh. And you look at these pictures again, and you suddenly think the form of the figures is all wrong.
Aye.
You just need to start. There's no point trying to sketch in these faces because the form is wrong, and suddenly you're a bit disgusted in these life drawings that you've done of these.
It is so correct. Yeah.
These naked young women, and I think you tear up your sketches.
Right.
And you're suddenly aware of the words that Bathsheba spoke to you, and you really understand what she was talking to you about when she said you needed to paint.
The moment when life begins.
Exactly.
Right.
And you think all this beautiful women reclining on couches.
It is trash.
It's trash.
Right.
And you feel like you need to paint a mother with a newborn child.
This is it. Right.
A very, very newborn child. The moment
right.
it's given to her. And you begin frantically sketching.
Oui, absolutely. I start again, fresh paper.
What's your art skill?
It is good, 70. Subjective, it's subjective.
And is it anything specific? Is it a specific skill? Art, is it like...
Painting.
Painting. Okay, so I think...
Which I imagine there are not oil paints here, that's the only issue. So it's like, perhaps I'm relying on sketching and charcoal until I can lay my hands on.
I think perhaps that's it. Perhaps you're aware that this isn't going to be perfect, but you're sketching something out and you're getting the form of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but maybe you have an urge to find some oil paint. I mean, you have some back at your studio.
Oui. Oh, absolutely.
So I'm going to leave you sketching away. Jane is brought back into the room, and Donatien Benoit, you are summoned from your book by a gendarme. Benoit, Monsieur Benoit.
What?
With me, the detective would like to speak to you.
So be it. I'm surprised I was not spoken to earlier, given my prominence, but never mind.
So you're brought through to the detective, who he and the keeper have now realised that it was very bad form to have a maid in the room during the questioning. Mm-hmm. So it's just you and the detective.
Hmm.
He says, is Monsieur Benoit correct?
What?
Thank you for joining me, Monsieur. I'm sorry to take up your time, but obviously there has been some sort of incident, perhaps a crime. Currently unclear. Could you tell me what you remember from earlier in the evening? There were any strange events we should be aware of? Anyone acting unusually?
Yes.
Ah.
I have seen some very unusual behavior this evening.
Ah.
Perhaps not unusual by artistic standards, but still, possibly worth investigating. I'm sure you'll get to it. I myself, for my part, stayed downstairs the entire time.
I see.
I have not left this room or the library. There's the only 2 rooms I have been in. I have not been upstairs at any point.
Understood.
However, I did notice that I hope he will not be prosecuted for blackmail, but I came across Lavanya coming down the stairs, and I said, Lavanya, you are not supposed to go up the stairs. That is private property. You're not allowed to go up there. And he told me that if I told anyone, he would implicate me and say I was up there with him. Earlier in the evening, I had caught Lavanya hiding in the grandfather clock.
How strange this behavior.
I suspect it is laudanum overdose, perhaps. He has been touched in the head, or now this horrific turn of events has occurred. Perhaps he had something to do with it. I don't know. I'm not saying he did. I'm just saying that his behavior was out of the ordinary.
This is very useful. Is there anyone who can corroborate your report?
Sadly not. Sadly, there is no one who saw me talking to Lavanya, who saw me finding him in the grandfather clock, or overheard him threatening me about going upstairs.
I see. You mentioned blackmail. Is that right? What is your opinion? Who was he hoping to blackmail? Paladin or?
Oh, me.
Oh, I see.
In saying that if I told anyone that he had been upstairs, he would tell them I was upstairs with him.
Ah. Well, this sounds like one of those he said, she said situations.
Exactement.
Presumably he would tell me the same as you.
Exactly. But now you know the truth. I have no reason to lie.
Right. What do you know about this dropping of the tray I have heard about?
Oh, yes, there was a dropping of a tray, and to speak frankly, I think it was a distraction.
A distraction for what?
I don't know. If I had to guess, I think it was a coordinated distraction at Lavanya's behest, so that he would have the opportunity to slip upstairs when he did. For my part, immediately after the distraction, if it was a distraction, I went into a very secluded corner of the library and read a book. Possibly nobody noticed me for about 20 minutes.
Well, this sounds like a very wise course of action. No harm can come from reading a book, after all.
Well, perhaps you have not read Mademoiselle What's-Her-Face's poetry.
Oh, Prideaux, she is quite exceptional, no?
Exceptional is certainly a word you could use to describe something that is notable in its difference from the norm.
Oh, well, I thought her adaptation of Chanson de Guillaume was remarkable.
All right.
So, if this was a distraction, you believe it was deliberate? The tray was dropped deliberately?
Maybe.
Who dropped it?
It was one of the maids who I happen to know Lavanya is having an affair with.
Ah, the plot thickens.
I oversaw them canoodling. Shortly after I had caught him hiding in the grandfather clock and forced him to extricate himself from its mechanical compartment.
This is very interesting information. Thank you very much.
No doubt he was lying in wait in the grandfather clock for his cue so that he could slip up the stairs.
I see.
He is an idiot.
Well, thank you for your time. I may have some more questions for you later, but...
I'm sure you will not.
Oh.
Because I have told the absolute truth. Madame Prideaux can corroborate my movements because I spent a great deal of time listening to her poetry.
I see. All right. Well, thank you very much. Please do not leave until we give you the all clear, as it were.
May I ask you, Detective, were you summoned here because of the incident in the bathroom, or
Yes.
were you already on your way?
No, there were 2 gendarmes on the way here already. I understood there was a minor commotion, but obviously the incident in the bathroom has overshadowed anything else that may have taken place. A small disagreement. I do not know who was involved.
You don't think it was a murder, do you? Part of something larger? No.
That I'm afraid I cannot discuss.
But you're not saying this is part of something larger beyond the walls of this building?
Thank you very much for your time, Monsieur Benoit.
Can I do a psychology roll?
You can, but I might, if you're going to be doing a psychology roll on him, I might ask you to do me a fast talk roll or something, based on the fact that you're being a little bit dishonest.
Okay, sure. I'm happy to risk that.
Are you happy with that trade, or do you want to quit while you're ahead?
Yeah, I don't mind.
Okay.
Because I am being dishonest, and maybe he'll realise that, and that's fine.
Fine. So you can do a psychology check on him, by all means. And then maybe he'll do a psychology check on you. Oh no, actually, I'm not going to do he's not going to do psychology. You're just going to do me a psychology and then a fast talk.
Right, fine. So I got a 21 on my psychology. That's a hard success.
Okay, great.
Fast talk, not so pretty. I wish it was the other way around. That's 52 and a 25. Ooh, but I might spend the luck. Will I still get the result of my psychology roll, even though he now maybe suspects me of lying?
Yes, you're going to get your psychology success, whatever, but you might go to jail.
Yeah, but I mean, he'll have to investigate further. He can't just...
Oh, yeah. Yeah. That's true.
And I've got lawyers. Can't prove anything.
Parisian jails are pretty cushy these days.
Well, your psychology check, you get the impression when you say...
And what's the crime? I went upstairs? Come on. I pushed a man into a grandfather clock?
Stolen a cult book.
They don't know about I didn't mention that at all.
No, it's true. So when you say to him, do you suspect this is part of anything bigger outside this house? You don't get the impression that has provoked anything from him. There's no suggestion that this is part of some grander conspiracy.
Great.
But when you say, was it a murder? You see a look across his face, which is confusion and frustration, as if he's really got no idea what this was, whether it was a murder or a suicide or something else. And perhaps that's why, even more than I can't discuss this, perhaps it's like he's actually got no fucking idea. He's a bit frustrated.
Right.
And he's just going through the motions of interviewing people in the hope that something will come out.
I see.
But he says to you again, thank you very much, Monsieur Benoit. And as I say, please do not go anywhere. I think I should definitely speak to this Levagne and Prideaux, and maybe we'll find this maid that you talk about. But I think I would definitely like to speak to you again. So please don't go anywhere.
I have nowhere else to be. But if you're going to be asking speaking to everyone at the party, we will be here all night, so...
Oh, don't worry. I don't think that would be necessary, Monsieur Benoit.
Bon.
You've already been very helpful.
I thought so. Well, good luck with your investigation, monsieur.
And as you're taken out of the room, the detective sticks his head out and says, the butler, Coffier, could you bring me the butler? The butler is brought in as you head back into the lounge. And actually, even as you sort of make it towards the lounge, you see the butler leave the room again and head down towards the servants' quarters with a gendarme. But now you're all back in the library if you want to have a...
Yeah. Does it seem now, since they're distracted doing interviews, we could have a tete-a-tete?
It seems like perhaps they've relaxed a little.
I walk straight over to the group, assuming we're all sort of mingling near each other.
I've definitely placed myself near the others.
I stride out of my interview and stride straight over, and I say, perhaps a little too loudly, I go, the man does not know anything. He has no idea. He's grasping at straws now.
I seem slightly distracted at first because I'm still etching and colouring in on this.
What are you at there? What are you doing?
Nothing. No bother. What, he knows nothing?
He does not know if this is a murder or a suicide or just a freak accident.
Pino, he would not kill himself. It's not in his nature. He was sick. He was not depressed. I've seen him depressed. This was different.
How sick? Is this a sickness that could happen? You get the sneezes and your head explodes or something?
What the fuck are you talking about?
I don't know any...
The detective said to me that it seemed unlikely. Monsieur Benoit, let's not draw attention to ourselves.
You seen someone hold a sneeze and their head blows off?
No, I'm saying that perhaps that is what has happened. Perhaps he had some disease that is so exotic and tropical or whatever. Cut that, because that sounds vaguely racist.
It's purely medical. You can still code that in the NHS today, tropical disease.
Oh, good. In that case, leave it in and cut out this bit where I'm worrying about it. Yes, perhaps it is some new tropical disease we don't know anything about and it has exploded his head.
Well, I do not know. I do not think he's been abroad so recently, anyway.
Someone else could have been abroad and brought it back and...
Well,
Come now, my friends, come now. Let me, as an Englishwoman, embrace you in the French manner and remind us all of the equality, the liberté, and the fraternity between us. And I move over and I kiss each one of you twice.
On the lips.
And as I do so, I say twice on the lips, and then I go, oh, I do beg your pardon. I meant on the cheeks. And then I kiss you on the cheeks.
Yes, this is Russian kissing.
And then once I've finished with your asses, I move to your faces.
And the gendarme moves over and says, no touching, and you're all separated again.
We're not touching, we're kissing.
Do I have a chance to whisper to them as I wanted to? Before the gags came in?
You probably get a chance to whisper to one of them.
I think it probably would have been Benoit, because I was trying to sort of subdue him slightly. So I whisper into his ear, Bathsheba is like a statue.